Hello again, Flosstube, YouTube, all you stitchers out there. I thought for this video I would go over and show you what's all inside the little jewelry box in my needlework station. So it's just kind of I like to repurpose things, and I no longer keep jewelry in it after I thought, hey, that'd be, a good thing to store all my needlework stuff in. So let's get to it. So here we go. And again, it's a jewelry box. They were popular years back. You've seen them everywhere. Walmart had them. All the stores had them. But I use it to store my needlework stuff in. So let's just get to it. And this one has needles and pins and needles for this little drawer. And here are some more counting pins, but they're styled differently. This one has turquoise chips and sterling silver beads, and I used E6000 to anchor them up at the top. And just the idea of a counting pin is so that you have something bigger to hold on to. So I use them a lot for gridding hayed fabrics and samplers when you have to jump through different rows or so many threads or whatever. So, and then there's these. These are a godsend. Get their information there. And for putting together biscornus, a lot of the small fiddly kind of things, these are awesome. I used to use a lot of these for leather work, and they're just amazing. So they're even more so for needlework if you're not into working with leather, but for the horses I try to do that as much as I can to make my own repairs. And then there's some threaders and some needles at seen action in there. So that's what holds in the first little drawer. So put that back. In the second one are all these mother of pearl rings. I like to work on, I don't know how to say it, but it's spelled E-T-U-I, Etui or something like that. And they usually have these little rings, you can see in the picture here, and that's what you'd attach your floss to. And then here's some that are plastic, and you would cover that with thread. And then I have these floss winders. These are rabbits. And then there's some fish in there. Aren't they cute? I'm trying to slowly kit this project up, and I'll show you what the book looks like. It's called Home Sweet Home, an Embroidered Workbox by Carolyn Pierce. I got it from Australia. Again, having an Australian friend, she knew a lot more of what was going on down there, and that's where I got this. If you look on the back, you get this book where it doesn't have a glare. Ain't that so cool? I just love this. But I haven't started it. I've only just barely started kitting up things for it. But I've been collecting here and there things I can use for it that'll fit in on that theme, because I just love the whole idea. I'd love to make one like a barn and have my horses featured in it, but anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. These are some of my work horses, and this is fray check. What I use this for is krennic, and I won't touch krennic. I won't deal with krennic if I can't use this on it. So what I do is I'll unwind the whole spool around a piece of cardboard, like 8 inches long or whatever, and I'll mark it somewhere, and then I'll run a line of fray check on it where that line is, and let it dry like overnight or several hours, and then I'll come back and I'll cut down the middle of where the fray check is, and that's where I have the line. You don't need a lot of this stuff. It bleeds like crazy. A little goes a long way, but having it, when you cut in the middle of where you have this freight check, the ends are not going to fray. It's going to go through your fabric so much nicer than previously. I'm sorry. It makes it dealing with it so much better. And if you're worried about the chemicals of it, you know, you can anchor your krennic and then cut that little tail off. It's not a whole lot, really. So yeah, this stuff is a godsend. Love it. And then in here, there's also a DMC thread cutter, and I have that because that needlework box calls for one, and you make a cover that's going to go on that. Tape measure, again, it's for that Home Sweet Home work box, but I use it all the time anyway. And then this is a bunka brush or a nap brush. Oh, here's the information. And it's for whisper thread. That's what it looks like. But then, you know, I haven't had a project yet that calls for a mega amount of whisper to use this on, so I haven't used it yet. And then there's Thread Heaven. And I've had that probably 5 or 6 years, and I still haven't used it, which is kind of funny. But I'm sure the day will come, and that's why I hold on to it, because as soon as I get rid of it, that'll be the day I need it. Murphy's Law. It kind of prevails here. So, now looking inside here, like I've said before, what attracted me to using this for my needlework things was all these little hooks inside that you would hang a necklace on are perfect for holding scissors. And I'm just going to get them out and lay them on the table, and I'll go around showing you what they're, the different kinds of them. I'm going to get them all out. This is not a needlework tool, at least I haven't found a use for it yet, but it's one of those old Victorian button hooks that ladies and children, and I don't know about the men, that they would use to hook up their shoes. So they couldn't use their fingers, they had to use that. So now looking at these different kinds of scissors, this one is perfect for frogging. You can see, I'm hoping my camera will behave and focus on that. All you do is you hook that little, the bottom blade underneath the top leg of your stitch and snip it, and you can wipe out an entire section of frogging in no time with these little babies. So I love them. That's why they stay up top where I can get to them. So that's them. These here, these are a little pair of owl scissors, and I just picked them up because I thought they'd look nice with that work box. You know, it's kind of an English garden thing. And then this little fob is from You and I and Friends, and I did it over one so I could use it as a fob. And it's a little beehive and flowers. And then on the back, I just made some bees, and it says "Be kind." So it's just a cute little thing there. This one is just a workhorse kind of scissors. I try to keep a lot of those around. They travel well. And then a mermaid scissor fob. I can't remember the name of the designer, I'm sorry, but it's one of those ETUI things, and I just converted it to look more like the Little Mermaid. So, and then it's got my initials on the back. That's that one. I like to do Under the Sea, and you know, also this garden one. It's just fun. So now let's get into the big drawer, the meat and potatoes. Okay. And this is a mother of pearl ruler. It even says so. And that's going for the work box for that cottage garden. Double needles. A cute little note from the lady who sent it. And she thought it would help me stitch faster, because that seems to be my thing. I need to stitch faster. In here, I have some older things. I used to do a lot of beadwork, and this is actually a needle case. You put your needles in there, and it's just a simple peyote stitch. The beads are black iris. I got them all from Walmart, really. All the beads, so it wasn't a very expensive project at all. But yeah, it packed a lot of pretty. I made a lot of these and gifted them away. There's the cap for it. So that was the one that I kept. And then in here, this is the first, I'll put it this way, scissor fob that I made, and that's been around since 2001. And it's got the big hook on the end that I can clip it to a scissors. This is glass, this blue bead here. The silver beads are sterling. These are bone hair pipe. This is genuine turquoise, and these strips are leather, so it looked like an Indian beaded choker. And then that's just a metal charm. And I was using that when I was working on her, see that Janlin kit of the Dreamcatcher. So that's that one. And chatelaines, the medieval and so forth, the collection of the needlework tools that hung off of a lady's waist, or they pinned it to their dress or whatever. I want one, but they're super expensive because they're antiques and so forth. And typically, the story of my life is if I want something and I can't afford to buy it, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make it. And that's what I did here. And this is my ocean theme or sea life chatelaine. And the features it has, I'll get to it in a minute, but it's made out of tourmaline, and that would be these gray, aqua, kind of iridescent, a little bit of green and purple in them. It's a natural stone. It's one of my favorites because it just goes so well with everything. These are just silver lined glass beads, and then these are pearls. The blue and some of the green are more of an aqua. Those are Swarovski crystals. And then there's all kinds of themed charms all the way down. Fish and lobsters, and there's a lighthouse in here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Starfish, seahorses, turtles, shells, fish. And then if you look down at the end, they all have hooks so that I can just unclip them, like here. I can just unclip it and take that tool off as I need it, and then put it back on, and it won't get lost. This giant needle is what I use as a laying tool for when I want to deal with fibers that are kind of ornery or whatever. And then normally my scissors would also attach to these, but I use them so much I just haven't connected it in. And then I also made a bunch of scissor fobs to go with these, so it was kind of a matched set. And it was a lot of fun to collect the things and find stuff that would work for it. Oh, these big these are just glass beads. I think they were called crackle glass, but they kind of added some sparkle to it. And here are the fobs. I made 4 of them. I'll get that out. And that's the ends. And they have the same features, the same beads, charms, the sea turtles. My favorite's probably the crab, and also the ship, just because it's got its little anchor here, and it just, it just kind of is funny because it looks like the anchor's actually going in the water. So that was just kind of a fun thing. I could probably hang this up if I had something to protect it. The Kraken is, you know, strong enough to hold it all. But let me back up here. But I think if I were to hang it up, it would just be too tempting for my cats to play with it. So since it can't fit in that little closet there, it's just not going to be a temptation. So I have to keep it in the drawer. And oh, here's another needlework tool that goes with it. I was using that. And that's the laying tool. Or not the laying tool, I'm sorry. That's the needle threader. So yeah, I made that. I made another chatelaine that was kind of a toned down version. And it's got the compass on it. The materials I used for this were freshwater pearls. It's got a lot of pearls in it. And also, this is called denim lapis, and that's a natural stone. And then these are bi-cut beads. I think they were delicas, I could be wrong. And then these are like glass lampwork beads. Here's another laying tool. This is a bodkin. It's just basically a flat, thick kind of needle for lacing. And I just thought I needed to have it. I haven't used it, but I needed to have it because that's what a chatelaine would have had on it. And then I got one more in here. And this one is just kind of an elvish looking scissor fob. And it's got the little sword with a jewel. And then these are, these blue ones, they're Swarovski crystals. And then white glass hearts. And then it just hooks on. But anyway, that is the contents of the needlework jewelry box. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make them. If anyone would even be interested in how to do that, it's not that difficult. Yeah, you'd probably surprise yourself how easy it is to make these things. Yeah, being I used to make a lot of jewelry, you know, these things took very little time to do, and they were a lot of fun to use. So I might make some more for this little cottage work box. You know, that would just be kind of a fun thing to have a few to match for that. But anyhow, again, I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully it's got some gears going in your own mind that, you know, there are things out there you can do. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than willing. I'd love to, you know, walk you through the process or whatever. But yeah, there's so much fun, pretty little things that you can have for your sewing stuff that's not going to cost you a lot of money. I'll tell you that right now. These did not cost a lot of money whatsoever, and they pack a lot of bang for